welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Kevin O'Sullivan. You watch us together on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan. Double the trouble, double the fun. Wait, Kevin, who did you have dinner with this week? With your wife, the designer who designed that Princess Diana dress?
He's Jacques Azaguri. He's one of my oldest friends who was Diana's favorite designer. So yes, that's who I had dinner with. But he's like my old pal, my buddy.
When I saw that on Instagram, I thought, well, Kevin keeping secrets.
Didn't you know? Huh? I'm amazingly well connected.
I know, but now I'm very, very intrigued. That's so incredible. That dress. Well, what I was excited about was that I saw the dress that recently went up for auction, the blue and black with the stars.
Yeah, that's right.
I recently got to see that in real life. So I was like, oh, wow, I was close to Kevin and I didn't even realize it.
Well, the thing about that dress was that, of course, Jack had sold it long ago. So it went for an awful lot of money and it was quite frustrating for Jack because, of course, he didn't make anything out of it. But next time you're in London, we'll go for dinner with Jack. Okay, how's that? A deal?
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
100%.
Oh, that is great. Okay, so I have something else off the script, but it's kind of breaking. No surprise here, but Google recently revealed its most popular searches in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. And Princess Catherine cracks the top 3 in all of them, sometimes hitting #1. The Princess of Wales and Donald Trump were, overall the most searched public figures in the world in 2024. Just kind of a recap of the where is Kate, chaos. To me, I say no surprise because for several months people were looking for her aimlessly. She's a good girl. We love that she was searched so much this year. We wish it was under better circumstances, but we love the Princess of Wales, right?
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised to hear that. I mean, she's very, very popular. I mean, she's everything that Meghan, for example, isn't. She's straightforward. She's not duplicitous, genuinely nice person. When she smiles and she's nice to someone, she means it. She's not just doing it for the camera. Same for William. There's something real about William and Kate, William and Catherine, that people like. And obviously because of Kate's health problems this year, our hearts go out to her. So, and she's endured her problems with, great fortitude and grace. So being ill, we wouldn't wish it on her, obviously, but being ill has only added to her popularity because she's handled it so well.
You're right. I've heard several people say that the rise in her popularity over this, oddly, is significant. Really quickly, I just want to remind everybody that it was Valentine Lowe that told us that recollections may vary, that famous line in Queen Elizabeth's statement. It was Catherine that put her foot down and said that has got to be included. So I credit Catherine to the recollections may vary line very much so. Story #1, Kev. Where is Meghan Markle's cooking show? This is a very interesting new piece from the Daily Mail suggesting that they might just can Meghan's cooking show altogether. It might never see the light of day. You and I have both debated whether this is going to be some tag team between Netflix, a retail arm, and the cooking show launched at the same time. But with Polo tanking as much as it has, with Meghan's thin skin, could potentially Meghan's show not come to fruition? I mean, what do you think the reality is there?
Well, first of all, we know this. We were told Meghan's cooking show, which she's already filmed, will be shown by Netflix in the new year, as in next month, January. We were told this several months ago. Now we know, because we were able to see Netflix's schedules, it's not going to be on Netflix next month. It won't be there in January. And after that, I think fairly soon after that, Netflix are committed to showing some Invictus Games stuff. So it's hard to work out if they are going to put on Meghan's cooking show at all. It's hard to work out when they're going to do it. I can't see it happening if at all, until maybe March or April. What does all this add up to? I'll tell you what it adds up to. As we say in Britain, Netflix could not give a toss about this series. They do not give a damn about it. Whatever confidence they had left in Meghan and Harry as a TV production duo, as a unit, that was dissipated, that was exploded by the disaster of Polo. Those two they've run out of road. Netflix have had enough of them. We're seeing stories now saying that Netflix executives are absolutely exasperated by Meghan. They're exhausted by how difficult she is. And this is just some woman with no particular track record for culinary achievements. She's not a chef or anything, saying, I'll make some food. You know, Meghan makes food. What are they going to call it? Meg's Meals or something like that. I mean, it's like, so what? It is a so what production that my feeling is at some point next year, April, May, they'll slot it in. No one will notice and it will all go away. It will die. So when she made that series, there was still some hopes that maybe the Meghan and Harry thing could still work for Netflix. Polo has put paid for that. Those two are finished with Netflix. They're finished with television. They've got the film rights to that thing. What's it called? The Lady in the Lake or whatever. Meet Me at the Lake. You know, I don't think they'll ever make that. I think as a production unit, as a production team, Harry and Meghan are over. They are finished. They never knew what they were doing. They never had the skills to do it. They just say it's like sort of, you know, me saying, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll produce a massive movie. I'll produce a really successful TV series. Well, amateurs can't do that. You can't just say, I'm going to be a TV producer. We're going to make smash hit TV shows. It takes people years to be able to perfect those skills. These two, arrogant airheads, sitting there on the West Coast, they think it's easy. It's not easy. They've found out. Netflix have had enough. They're out of here.
Wow. Yeah. So one of the sources told the Daily Mail there won't be another deal. There may be one-offs, but that's it. I just have a hard time believing that Netflix would waste these types of resources. If this were to be canned, I feel like it would be Meghan insisting it was canned because she wasn't confident in the production. What would the consequences be if Meghan and Netflix chickened out and tossed this aside? Is this the end of their reputation in Hollywood if she just abandons this project, this much hyped project?
I think that if they don't show Meg's Meals, as I've now called it, then that is the end. It is very much the end. I think whether or not they show it is neither here nor there. If they show it, it will merely be, well, you know, we spent a few bucks making this series, we might as well put it on. You know, see if we can cut our losses, recoup our losses a little bit. It's like in Tinseltown in Hollywood when they make a really, really bad movie and everybody knows it's a bad movie, but they're still going to put it out to make at least a little bit of money, you know, to recoup some of the losses. That's what I think may happen to Meghan's cooking show, or Netflix might just say, well, no, let's just forget it. I mean, it's impossible to underestimate the damage that Polo has done to the Gruesome Twosomes' reputation in Hollywood. It's a terrible, terrible series. It's terribly, terribly boring. It's everything that we feared. And we know that Harry and Meghan were in it up to here. They were involved in every moment. They do not have a clue what people want to watch. You know, that's the secret. When you're they're trying to make popular television programs. Well, you better know what's popular. You better know what people want to watch. Both of those two. He just has always lived in an ivory tower. You know, obviously, he's cut off from reality by being a member of the British royal family, just lives in private jets and palaces. He doesn't know anything about real life, has hardly ever met a real person. She doesn't really understand normal people. I mean, she must have known a few in her time, but I think I think she's emotionally very unintelligent. She can't connect with people. She doesn't understand what people want. She thinks that the masses want all this virtue signaling claptrap that she wants to do. You know, no, they don't. They want to be entertained. She doesn't know how to entertain people. He's never even really met people, so he's got no idea either. I think Netflix are going, well, it was $100 million, but I guess we learned something there. Let's not do that again. Let's make sure that in future we work with professionals, not rank amateurs with ideas above their stations. This deal, from start to finish, has been a disaster. Yes, Harry and Meghan, the series when they're pouring a bucket all over Harry's family and calling the king a racist and, you know, all of Britain racist and slave drivers. That was quite entertaining. You know, that worked. We know about Spare. That worked. But once Harry had finished pouring a bucket all over his family and his country, for which we will never forgive him, by the way, once he'd finished doing that, what do we now know? Nothing left in the basket. There's nothing left. They're over.
Yeah, that, I mean, it's one trick ponies basically is what I agree that they are. I liked that you said that about Meghan being able to connect with people, having issues being able to connect with people, because that's one of the things I don't understand. I do not associate Meghan with cooking or entertaining because she has become so incredibly private. I agree that that will be a difficult sell. Have you thought about the fact that she was, right before she started dating Prince Harry, she was in a relationship? I mean, it's my understanding that she was in this relationship when she went on her first date with Prince Harry, and that she broke up with this professional chef out of Canada for Prince Harry. Yeah. Do you think that that he's given her any pointers for the show? I mean, do you think she's taken anything away from that relationship for the show? And does that give you any insight into like the social ladders that she has climbed over the last few years?
I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't taken anything from the chef she used to go out with, because one thing we know about Meghan, she's a user. She uses people for her own advantage. Now, she's going out with this chef, but she's still looking around. I wonder if there's anybody better out there. Oh, wait a minute. Here's this Prince guy. I should be able to weave him round my finger pretty easily, and guess what she did? So, yeah, maybe she learned something from that chef guy, but that isn't the point. The point is, she's got no right to make a cooking show. If it was like Tom Cruise or, I don't know, Nicole Kidman, and they said to Netflix, I fancy him, I'm pretty handy around the kitchen, I'd love to make a cooking series. Netflix are going to go, yeah, do it. It's Tom Cruise in the kitchen. This is fascinating. Meghan doesn't have nearly the profile to be able to carry that off. You've got to be a superstar to make a cooking series if you don't know much about cooking. She doesn't know anything about cooking. I like to cook. She knows about as much about cooking as I do. She's an amateur cook who likes to cook her husband and her family a few meals, maybe some friends sometimes, just as I do. That doesn't qualify me to present a cooking show. The only people who can get away with that are superstars. Meghan, if you're watching, here's one thing you're not: a superstar. You really are not a superstar. So no, there's no, this series, if they ever show it, won't work. It'll be a disaster.
I want to talk to you about the holiday card that was released this week. It's Harry and Meghan it's 6 images. Some are from their trips, some are from some of their not royal engagements, but everybody's talking about the photo that features the back of Lily and Archie. Always fuzzy and from behind, never like a clear photo. To me, there's a very blatant copying of Princess Diana's photo from the 90s where she's running, thrusting at like the boys she's running towards the boys.
It's pathetic, isn't it? It's kind of, it's spooky. It's kind of creepy, really creepy.
So much. Really? Well, I have to ask your opinion. I because there are stories about how this is a big strategy. They're like Harry and Meghan are hinting to us that they're going to bring the kids to Invictus Games in Canada. I don't think that's what this is. You can make a Christmas card on vistaprint.com in 3 seconds. It's my opinion that this was created quickly and uploaded on their website to distract from the negative polo press. Do you have an opinion on that? This is a great way to divert attention. Now everybody's talking about how cute the back of your kid's head is instead of talking about how crappy your TV show is.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of dead cattery about this. Swing a dead cat round, then nobody will talk about your disaster. So yes, there is an element of that. But to be fair, it's that time of year. It's incumbent upon the gruesome twosome to come up with some kind of Christmas card. This was a sort of online card. I thought what was curious about it, so we'll get into the pictures in a minute, but at the top it says, so if you get one of these cards, I think it comes online, it says, from the office of, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Archwell Foundation, Archwell Entertainment. From the office of. I mean, that's really intimate, isn't it? Really, really familial for the festive season. Really weird way of putting it. Well, why not from Harry and Meghan? Happy Christmas. Why from the office of? And then naming the Archwell Foundation, the charity that is arguably even less effective than Archwell Entertainment, the non-existent unit that doesn't make any TV shows or successful TV shows and hasn't made any movies. So it's, in a way, this card is a sort of testament to their lack of success. But if you go on to the pictures, yes, there's that really weird picture. It's like, man, Meghan, could you just be a little bit less kind of awkward? This thing, doing this Diana act, we remember the famous photo. Why was it such a great photo of Diana being reunited with Harry and William when they were little kids, because she hadn't seen them for weeks, and there's her little boys, and it was a moment of a mother absolutely thrilled to see her little boys, and the boys thrilled to see her. They're leaping, and she goes like that. Fantastic fit picture, because it is one of those natural moments that all of us can relate to. Meghan tries to recreate it like an actress and takes all of the magic out of it, to the extent that it actually becomes a kind of, to my mind, a slightly sinister picture. What on earth are you doing? Why are you trying to, recreate Diana's life? Do something natural. What is the matter with you? What is the matter with those people? Harry's doing it as well. I mean,
yeah.
I'll tell you this, Kinsey, I just think they're a couple of weirdos. That's why it's all going wrong for them.
I had said yesterday that I felt like Meghan had been trying to recreate or steal Princess Diana's characteristics for the last few years. It's hard for me to process the fact that she's almost been on our radar now, Kevin, for a decade, almost. She hit the scene really in 2016. And that's hard for me to process.
Yeah.
But I had some people correct me, and they're absolutely right. Meghan has been playing the Diana card ever since she met Prince Harry. There are rumors that she wore Diana's perfume when they first met. There are pictures of Meghan before she met Harry on some of her own charity ventures, dressed head to toe just like Princess Diana and posing just like Princess Diana posed when she was on solo charity ventures. It is very bizarre. And so, yes, when people were correcting me yesterday when I said for the last few years, I mean, it's been almost a decade now where Meghan has been cosplaying Princess Diana. And it surprises me that more media outlets haven't recognized the fact that to most of us, that's what we saw in those images. That one image stood out to us. Mm-hmm. Instead, everybody's talking about the kids, like the back of their heads. To me, that is not newsworthy. It's bizarre. I also just want to ask you about the children. I guess, why are they sharing photos of them now? Because they are very secretive of them typically. Why do these American children that don't know their royal relatives have titles?
Yeah.
And, you know, we had plenty of access to those kids during the Netflix docu-series. Is it just to put a price tag on it, and they're willing to make an exception?
Uh, I mean, those kids, right? We've seen so many pictures of the back of their heads that I think they're going to start getting recognised. You know, oh, I recognise that back of that head. I've seen it a million times before. That is getting weird in itself. You know, please, no more pictures of the back of the kids' heads. It's ridiculous. You said earlier, Kinsey, and I was going to sort of take you up on it a bit, about Meghan being very private. She's not. She's not.
Yeah.
Very private people are private. Very, you know, you sometimes get very famous people who genuinely live private lives, who genuinely want to stay out of the limelight, who they're used to this fame and they don't particularly enjoy it. Meghan is not a very private person. She is a person who goes on about wanting privacy very publicly. So she makes her desire for privacy part of her publicity package. So she doesn't really want privacy. She wants us to talk about her desire for privacy. She is desperate, desperate, desperate all the time to be in the public eye, to be talked about. Hence the pictures of the kids. You know, even us saying, well, why do we keep seeing the back of their heads? She'll like that because we're talking about her. She's not a private person. She does not crave privacy. She craves publicity, but she also craves good publicity. And I'm afraid that this year, that really hasn't worked out for her, has it?
No, that ship sailed long ago. I only have a few more minutes with you, and this is still kind of on the Prince Harry beat. But, you know, the king is understood to be furious that Prince Andrew is embarrassing the monarchy yet again. This is a major scandal that involves an alleged Chinese spy and his friendship with Prince Andrew. And of course, I think that this is a fair argument. This is not a great look. And I guess I would say my question to you would be, what do we do about the Andrew problem? And who is more embarrassing, Prince Andrew or Prince Harry? And how close is Harry to becoming Prince Andrew? Because we could go down the laundry list of the types of people Prince Harry engaged with on their fake royal tours just this year. Like one person that was kicked out of the United States for fraud. You know, there were multiple embarrassing individuals that Harry engaged with this year. And the lack of due diligence reminds me of Prince Andrew, you know, interacting with people that are not a positive reflection on you.
It's a good point. I mean, you know, who is the worst royal? Is it Andrew or Harry? It's a tough choice. I'm going to cut Harry some slack, unusually for me. Andrew is even worse than Harry. I mean, I don't want to be too cruel about their intellectual abilities, but both of them are pretty dumb. And therefore, dumb people tend to lack judgment. They make ridiculous decisions. They make mistakes. You know, Harry married Meghan. I mean, you know, come on, what a mistake was that? But that notwithstanding, he hasn't managed to cause as much embarrassment for the royal family as Andrew has on a kind of serious diplomatic level. Of course, Megxit and the mess he's made of America and pouring a bucket over the royal family. It's all very embarrassing, humiliating for the king. And Harry, frankly, throughout all of this, along with Meghan, made a fool of himself. But he's not in the same league as Andrew. I mean, Andrew, if he's got a brain upstairs, he certainly keeps it well hidden. I mean, the guy is just an idiot, an absolute idiot, with no judgment whatsoever. And worse than that, he's always had ideas above his financial station. So, yes, he's been given a nice allowance by the Queen and now the King, you know, and has lived quite well, as people like that do. But he's never had much money. So he's courted rich people. and they've given him money in order to curry his favour and therefore get a passport into the upper echelons of British society. So this recent case, this guy, H6, the Chinese spy, says, "I'm not a spy. It's not true to say I'm a spy." What's his name? Yang Tengbong. Yang Tebong is his name. Twice in this country, our courts, the British courts, have decided he is a spy, because he recently was thrown out of the country in 2023 by the then Home Secretary Suella Braverman for basically being a spy, a Chinese spy. He appealed in July this year, and his appeal has just failed. In other words, he said, "I'm not a spy, you've got to let me back into Britain." The British court said, "Well, we've had a look at this and your appeal fails because we think you are a spy and you're not allowed back in Britain." So make no mistake, Prince Andrew, in his buffoonery, has compromised the national security of Great Britain. He has really caused serious problems here. He's now been banned, or he's agreed not to attend the Sandringham Christmas celebrations with the royal family. He's got to sit around sulking on his own back in the Royal Lodge. But the big question about this, Kinsey, and this is central to the issue, as you recall, you and I were talking about it, a month ago. The King Charles, trying to get Prince Andrew out of Royal Lodge, where he's lived for 30 years or so. He needed £3 million to renovate the dilapidated Royal Lodge. King says, "If you can't find that money, I'm kicking you out." The King he said, "I got this. He won't find the money. Then I can get him out, kick him out." Suddenly, he's got the money. Suddenly, a man who is skint, who's broke, has got £3 million. Where did he get it from? The word is he got it from Chinese spy boy, who's a rich businessman. The people of Britain now are saying, where did you get that money? And if it was from a Chinese spy, you're in even more trouble than you were before, because that is outrageous. With a member of the royal family, the King's brother, who, by the way, for 10 years, this guy was essentially his Chinese business partner, his Chinese connection. They were very close. Where did he get that £3 million from? If he got it from the Chinese guy, you haven't heard the last of this. But the King is furious with Andrew. And so to answer your question, yes, Harry's a disaster, but his uncle Andrew is even worse. He's a catastrophe.
Yeah, that's a good point. So just to be mean and continue to make this comparison, I guess, in an article titled "Harry and Meghan Playing Rival Royals in Palace Nightmare," one former courtier told the Daily Beast overseas visits might look like jollies, but they are actually a matter of foreign policy. They are about promoting the UK and building diplomatic and trade alliances on behalf of the government. Harry and Meghan have different priorities. That right there reminds me a lot of Prince Andrew. While they were in Nigeria, a Nigerian king, who Prince Harry called his in-law, was reportedly a con man and had been deported from the United States twice. Harry called the Nigerian royals his in-laws and said, "I'll skip the protocol because at this point we're all family." Remember, Meghan said that she was 43% Nigerian. That right there is ludicrous, that you're talking to these people that have been deported and are accused of illegal activity, and you're referring to them as your family. What a kiss, what. You definitely have an ulterior motive there. And then the Sussexes were welcomed to Nigeria with open arms by a fugitive wanted in the United States over a $20 million money laundering scheme. This is a different individual that was there when they arrived. To me, I want to say these guys are stupid. I want to just be like, somebody's not doing their homework. But the more we talk, the more it feels like, well, it doesn't matter, because their objective isn't anything good. Their objective is just, it's selfish.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem with Harry and Meghan's pretend royal tours to Nigeria and then Colombia, you know, I mean, you and I and many other royal observers are still scratching our heads going, what's that? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Because royal tours, royal visits are meticulously planned by the government, by the British government, and the governments of the countries that the royals will be visiting. For example, Charles and Camilla were in Australia recently. They don't just hop on EasyJet and say, see you in 10 hours. You know, this years of planning goes into this, and everybody they shake hands with, everybody they meet has been thoroughly vetted. These tours are meticulously planned, and they are all about diplomacy. They're about the two countries getting on well politically, trade deals. That's what royal tours are about. They're about fostering international relations between Britain and various foreign countries that we want to have good relationships with, right? So, Harry doesn't seem to have understood that. He thinks it's just a job. Oh yeah, we're going to Nigeria, should be great. Go to Colombia, yay, yeah, brilliant. Of course they come into contact with dodgy people because nobody's doing the groundwork. Nobody's checking out who they're going to meet. Nobody's checking out what they're going to do. They're just sort of going there and posing for pictures. Well, of course this sort of stuff is going to come out. I mean, frankly, it's well known that back here in Britain, our Foreign Office would love to persuade Harry to stop doing these tours. I mean, they won't be able to, but they don't want Harry and Meghan to do this. It gets in the way diplomatically. But they will carry on because Harry can't work out anything else to do. It's all he's ever really done, just arrive at places and shake hands with people and say, have you come far, and all that kind of stuff. That's all he's ever done. So he doesn't know what...
But it's also, Kev, it's also the only positive PR they had this year.
Yeah.
Everything else they did crashed and burned.
Yeah. I mean, you know, looking back on this year, Harry and Meghan's year, 2024, as the Queen might have put it, was an annus horribilis for them. I mean, it was a really, really, really bad year. And they've got to come up with something going forward in 2025. They better come up with something better than just pitching up in some third world country and say, hey, take pictures. I mean, that's no good. What's it about? What's it for? You know, they've got to come. So as to what those two get up to next year, I think it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because yeah, you know it will be. We'll be talking all the way through the year about it because, I mean, I don't wish them ill. I just don't see what they can do. I don't see what they're going to do next year. And to that extent, it will be interesting to find out how they fill their time. And, you know, who knows? Let's take some bets. When do you think they might be seen together again in public? I don't know. A couple of months, 6 months, who knows?
Well, I have heard that she will attend in the Invictus Games with him in February.
Okay.
But still, that is a very significant amount of time that we do not see them together, if that's the case. All right. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Kevin, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You are one of my perks of 2024.
Well, you too, Kinsey. It's been great working with you. Have a very great Christmas, and I'll see you again in the new year.